Hi, everyone. We're working on finding enduring issues. We're working with the enduring issues tool. This is our second part, specifically working with 9th and 10th grade, because you may have a class culminating in a region where you have to write an enduring issues essay, or you may be learning how to do it. In our first video, we spoke about what an enduring issue is. You may want to go back there and watch that video to review, refresh, because you've already looked at what an enduring issue is. Now we're going to look at how to find it. And this is how you're going to find it on YouTube, this little series. And the next video is going to break down step 1, meaning how you're going to actually do it and how you can help yourself. And then I told you there's going to be more videos on all the other steps of the Enduring Issues tool. Now, before I forget, this is the Enduring Issues tool. It has the essay prompt, then it has a whole bunch of steps that I keep telling you about. Then it gives you directions for all the steps and then a chart. Calm down, we're not there yet. Right now, we need to talk about actually finding these enduring issues, right? So if you remember, an enduring issue is a challenge or a problem. It existed in the past and exists today. It affects a lot of people, and you're going to be given 5 documents or sources, and you need evidence for the challenge or problem in at least 3. So now, again, kind of where I got from New Visions for schools. Thank you again for that. How do we find them? Remember, it's a challenge or a problem. Next thing, we looked at a list last video. Don't get stuck on that list. We're going to look at specific ideas you really need to look at, but don't get stuck with that list and be as specific as possible. What you should look for is cause and effect. Now, notice we have our little detectives over here, right? Our detective hunting for clues. So how are you going to hunt for clues? And the answer is, again, thank you to New Visions for Public Schools. You're going to look for phrases to help you identify the enduring issue. So how are you going to, what phrases are you going to look for? Here they go. You're going to look for, when it says the word need, meaning that's something people needed over history, competition, people fought over, lack, they didn't have enough, or scarcity, they didn't have enough. And it's all speaking about different ways with fresh water. Okay. Then the more phrases are effects, impact, changes, conflict, rejection, threat. Now, obviously, your teacher is going to practice with you, and these are examples with technology. But this is language you might want to get yourself used to when you see this language in a source. That might help you identify an issue. So if you see those kind of words in a source, that might help you go back to the challenge or problem that's specific, and you're looking for cause and effect. Now, what do I mean don't get stuck on the list? Okay. Remember, New York State has this whole big list, which is not meant to be all-inclusive. And I told you can find almost anything in there, so calm down. We can't find anything, right? But at the same time, some people need somewhere to start. And that's what I mean by don't get stuck on the list. Okay, here's some suggested enduring issues, but I don't want you stuck on them. I don't want you to think these are the only enduring issues. I just want this to be as a jumping off point. The same way that you had a jumping off point with the language, I want you to have a jumping off point for enduring issues when you're looking. For example, the first one that everyone says to look for is conflict. That's when people disagree or argue. It's not just, by the way, when 2 people go have a fight in the backyard. This is like when there's serious stuff going on. This is when people get really angry at each other, right? So I wrote serious stuff. I mean, it sounds like I'm joking around, but it's like nations, people, or individuals. Next is power. Who's on top? Who's in control of the relationship? Who's influencing who? Who's pushing the other person around? Next is injustice. Some people like to say inequity. I prefer injustice, but I put inequity in there, meaning lack of fair opportunity. Someone didn't have a fair chance. One group doesn't have as much a chance as another or other groups. Next step, which is a little more positive usually, which is innovation, new ways to deal with the problem. It could be positive or negative, like how did someone come up with something new, like to deal with something, like instead of handwriting things, let's have a printing press. That's just an idea. Notice I didn't give you examples for other things, just for innovation. Sometimes people need a jump start. Interconnection, it's relationships. How great is the relationship to other people, groups, and countries? Meaning, how do people work with each other? How do they get along with each other? And I have a few more big ones, ideas and beliefs. How can we look at the world? How do we look at the world? It could come from religion. It could come from philosophy. That's people's statements of belief, people's thoughts. It could come from the people around you. It could come from what you learn. It can come from books. The environment and your impact on the environment. Remember, it kept saying impact on that chart. Where we live and how it impacts us and how we have an impact on it. It can be local. It could be national, your country, or it could be global. It could be the world. Next one, scarcity. There's not enough stuff. Everything has a limit, right? Resources have limits, so countries can trade or do other things to get limited resources. So sometimes they're not the most positive things, but what do they do for it? And then population. We have a lot of people. Thank God people are living longer. And the Earth's population is growing. What is going to happen as a result of that? Now, remember, you're not limited to these suggestions. You're not stuck with the list. You're going to look for the language to help you find the issue. Okay, you're looking for a challenge or a problem. You're not getting stuck on the list, even though we gave this to you. Okay, you're going to be as specific as possible, and you're looking for cause and effect. In the next video, we're actually going to break it down. Come along for that. It's going to be interesting.